Welcome you all back to another episode by the Bros of Decay. I'm Leslie and today we're going to film this incredible home here in the countryside of Georgia. A complete time capsule, fully left behind, and I'm very excited to take you all inside today and show you the story of the people that once lived here. This was an African American's home and this is the first one of its kind that we're filming, so let's go inside.
At number 110 in the rural outskirts of a tiny town in Georgia stands a forgotten property that has remained uninhabited for almost a decade. Once a humble adobe, this single-story house held the dreams and laughter of an African-American family of 6. Jeffrey and Sandra, devoted parents, created a warm and loving home where their daughters and sons flourished. Step inside and you will find a time capsule of the past. The rooms are adorned with retro televisions, radios and relics from the vibrant eras of the 1970s and 80s. While going through their documents, we catch a glimpse of a modest yet heartfelt existence, where unemployment was always present but love still thrived. Sports played a predominant role in the lives of their sons. One son, a baseball prodigy, amassed a collection of trophies as a testament to his skill. Meanwhile, the other son dedicated his weekdays to the games of basketball and American football. Today we stand witness to the remnants of this once vibrant family life. Join us as we venture inside this American time capsule, ready to uncover the stories that echo through the silent corridors.
So let's open the door into the time capsule and let's start off this incredible video inside of this American time capsule that used to be of Sandra as the last inhabitant inside. So let's start. I'm jumping behind the camera right now and I'm gonna show you everything that's left behind in this wonderful place here in the United States, in the state of Georgia. And the first room that we've ended up in is actually the living space. And I see it very often when you enter into an American place. You come into the front door, the first room that you enter into is the living room. And that's quite unique for me as a European because we do it very differently. In our place, in our homes, you would come first into a hallway and then you would end up in the living space. And it's not because these people were poor, because this is actually a fairly big home and these people had some money back in the day, but it's just a very customary thing in the United States. So I'm very curious to see what we're going to find today in this abandoned place. Let me first give you an overview of this room. This is one of the first rooms that we're going to see, and as you can see, everything is still in pristine condition left behind. I was quite surprised when we came into this place to see everything still in here. The first thing that catches my eye when I wandered into this room was this unique fireplace made of brick. And down below here we have this statue of a lion in front of the fireplace. He looks very fierce and he has also been completely deteriorated. The paint is totally chipping off. I think this never used to be like a real fireplace. This always used to be like a decorative piece. As you can see, the whole, it's just closed up by stone and you couldn't even make a fire in this one. I have some artifacts hanging on the wall. I think these are air fresheners. Yeah, they are And then over here, on top of the fireplace, we have one of the first artifacts of the former people that lived in this place. And this is a certificate of promotion. And this is directed to Aspen Carswell for the completion of the 8th grade, and then probably his school initials, and also probably the director of the school signed this. And this has actually been signed in 2014, so I might be wrong about that date when this place got abandoned. 2014 is only 7 years ago right now. So very interesting. But what's also very interesting about this one is the name that's on here. Aspen Carswell. And Aspen Carswell is not the same surname as Sandra, the last person that lived in this place. So some very interesting things. Like I told you in the story, I think that this place used to be some sort of a foster home for children without parents, and Sandra and her husband most likely took these children in and gave them a home to live in, and that's very lovely. The last plants also still left here on top of the fireplace. And over here we got some bills from the household that they needed to pay but never did, and it got piled up over here over time. Another plant that has been standing here for a long time without water and has completely died, unfortunately. I love the little library, the bookshelf that they have underneath here. That's quite a piece. What kind of books does these people read? I don't know if they're religious or not. Pan-American Spanish, self-taught. Okay, I think this is like a language book. Yes, you can learn Spanish from this book. Yo estoy, él está. Okay, I can't read Spanish, unfortunately, but I would love to learn it. I want to actually learn every single language so I can communicate with a lot of people and make connections with all of them. Okay, some interesting books. Mystery House. I read that one before. Love it. And then we have their couch. A fairly big couch again, because I think a lot of people used to live in this place, and you all want to sit together in the evening, of course, enjoy a nice conversation together, and it would just be lovely to be sitting on this couch. And then to the side of it we have this television, but for me this is a very unique one. As you can see, it's a very old television as well, very vintage. I think probably 1960s, 1970s. I've never even heard of this brand before. Magnavox. Maybe it's an American brand, but maybe it's also so old that they got bankrupt and I just don't know them. Well, seems like there's a drawer beneath here, but I think it's a fake drawer. But what a beautiful piece of a television. Wow. I must admit, I'm totally in love. And even the slippers from the last person are still in here. The Nike slippers. Wow. And a chandelier hanging from the ceiling. And then we have this box over here that I first thought was a chest, but I came into this home and I opened it up and I revealed this record player inside of here. It must be lovely. The people would be listening to a record in the evening, probably sitting together on the couch and having a lovely time. I've never seen a piece like that, like the record player worked into a chest. It's very unique for me. And this lovely record player will lead us into the next room of this place. Also a very important room of the household. That was the dining room, where the family came together for a good meal, where Thanksgiving was celebrated. At the time of recording this, I actually had my first Thanksgiving dinner at a fan of Bros of Decay. And that was only 2 days ago, on Thursday, and it's now Saturday. So I had my first Thanksgiving dinner ever in the United States, and I'm very thankful for that. But anyway, so here they would celebrate all their holidays together, but also their normal meals, and it would just be a lovely space to be in. Let's see if we can find anything from the former people left behind in here. The fireplace, these candle holders on top of there, and this crystallier base down below. It also has some sort of a certificate worked into that. You can see the gold little marking, the gold little stamp on the glass piece. There's even a marble base, so this is probably a very expensive piece. Oh, traditional iron from the 1800s, early 1900s. Wow. Nowadays we don't use them anymore, but they are decorative pieces and I love to find them. All of the daddies in the world, God sure gave me the best. That's a lovely quote. It's probably from the child. Yes, it was for Father's Day that he wrote this. Dear Daddy, I'm sad not to be with you today, but I will see you soon. Wait till you see what I can do. Okay, love, little king. That's actually a very lovely letter that this young boy wrote for his father. And his father couldn't be with him on Father's Day. That's unfortunate, but he was going to show him something when he got home. Okay, and over here we have another fireplace. Interesting, they put like this wooden plate in front of the fireplace. They boarded it up for some reason. Okay, interesting. I don't know why they would do this. What's this? Is this like a butter maker? Yes, I think so. So you have this base over here, the stamper, and I think you could make like butter inside of this jar. Very interesting piece. Lots of vases left behind over here. Already 3 of them over here at this fireplace, but there are more in this room. And also a lot of televisions. They're literally scattered all over the house. We're gonna see a few more throughout this place, but it's very weird to see so many televisions. Maybe because they love sports, they needed a lot of televisions to watch all the different games together. And here we have the first memories and pictures of the family that lived here. This might have been Sandra, together with one of her children, as you can see. And over here we have this poster. I think there are multiple of the same one. Oh no, these might be prints from their children playing games, playing sports, basketball in this instance. Chandelier above the table. And we have this cabinet over here. Some playing cards. I always love to see these games, and that just tells me that these people would have spent a lot of time together, spent time playing games, and it's just fascinating. Look at this porcelain cake that they put over here. Wow, you could put like a real cake in here and you would cover it up with this porcelain cake, and that's just fascinating. Another family picture, another memory left forever in this place. This might have been the father, and I think the child we see on here is the same child that's on this picture. Yeah, it looks kind of the same, so that might be the father together with the children. I don't know the father's name, unfortunately, but I hope to find out soon. Let's place this back nicely. Now let's leave that memory there forever. The boys playing basketball. Also very fond memories. Wow. This sport is actually not that big over in Europe. Not a lot of people play basketball, but over here in the United States, it's a very big sport. Oh, and I love a picture like that. Back in the time when you took a picture and it was a bit like, you can see the person that took the picture has his finger in front of the camera, but it's still like a memory, and they probably didn't notice it until they printed it out. And they were like, okay, let's just keep it because this is a memory of the child you can see in the back over there. And that's just fascinating how people back in the day couldn't take another picture or couldn't check it out and had to live with this sort of bad picture, but still a lovely memory. Have a look down below here. We have this enormous carton box, and this is completely filled with pictures and memories of the people that once lived in here. What do we have over here? Of course, these people were also religious, and this is probably something from church. Let me see. best-selling novel. Oh, actually, this is not from church. This is just from a novel that they probably bought. And okay, but there are lots and lots of pictures inside of here, even Polaroid ones, like we can see over here. Oh, this is lovely. This is them with Christmas next to the Christmas tree, probably inside of the house somewhere. I'm not sure where this picture has been taken inside of the house, but that's just lovely. And of course, pictures of sports, pictures of them just having a fun time together. Oh, that's so lovely to see. That really shows you, and that really gives emotion to an abandoned place like this, finding all these pictures and memories of the former inhabitants. Yeah, they were maybe at a wedding or something like that. Home of the Warriors, probably after a game outside of their stadium. What do we have more inside of here? Okay, this is probably at the prom in the year 2007, Night of Mystery in Wisconsin. What, Wisconsin? Okay. Wonderful. Let's place this all back nicely. We got a glimpse of how the people that lived in this place looked like, and that's just so amazing to see and find. They also got this big bin over here in the corner of the room, and I'm not sure. I think it was at first for clothing. There are some artifacts left in here. Oh, look at this. Quite curious to see what this is. Oh, it's actually a snowman that's made from like porcelain pieces and then crafted together with iron and probably also handmade. Fascinating. But not much more in here. Oh, maybe some letters. Yeah, there are some letters in here as well. Individual test score report. Wow, that's interesting. Individual test score report. And this is for one of the children that lived in here. Heart of Georgia Tech. Okay. Congratulations, you have passed the Georgia Paraprofessional Assessment. Your score is 80. The passing score was 75. So the person, Dana J. Prosser, and that's the same surname as Sarah, that lived in here, she passed the test. And that's just wonderful for Georgia Tech. So lovely to see. There are even more letters in here as well. Don't play with me award. What? Somebody loves you. Oh, this is a love letter that somebody in this place got. That's lovely. Some secrets that we can open and unveil. Oh, that somebody is me. Happy Valentine's Day. Oh, that's lovely. Probably the child made this for the mother or the father. I love to see these kind of memories. That somebody is me. Happy Valentine's Day. Let's stroll further through the place now. I'm going back to the first room, and then we're gonna check out this room that's over here. Oh, I knocked my head against the chandelier. It's very low, and I think it got twisted over time. But look at this door. It's completely chipping away, and it's gonna lead us into the next room of this place. I'm quite excited to see what's behind here. Oh, the doorknob is a bit broken, but we can still open it up. Oh my God. Have a look at the decay that's inside of this room. It's completely falling apart. So unfortunate. The roof has just come down. I find it very interesting how the Americans built their home with like plywood and just out of wood, and we in Europe, we build very differently. We build with stone, and yeah, the homes seem to decay a lot faster over here than they do at home, because I sometimes film in like a French manor that's been abandoned, that has been built like a few hundred years ago, and that's still in a very good condition. But this home, probably maybe 50 or 60 years old, is already falling apart. Anyway, the room that I just walked into seems to be another living area, another sitting area. The family might have been so big that they needed multiple sitting areas to accommodate everybody inside of the house. Wonderful. I can remember that my parents had exactly the same fan at home when we were younger. Of course, changed it out over time, but we had exactly the same one with the same light bulbs in there. It's so crazy to see how halfway across the world we found a house with the same kind of stuff inside. Here we got a little display rack. We can see some Grey Goose vodka on top of there. And this looks like some sort of a terrarium that they built in here. See, there's also water inside of it. I don't know if it's liquor or something like that. Instructions, remove the cap. Yeah, this is an oil lamp. Okay, interesting. No clue how this would work, but very interesting to find. You find some candle holders, like some salt as well on top of here. No clue why that's there. And a cowboy boot, a very small cowboy boot. And as well, a lot of money left behind, scattered everywhere around. As you can see, these are coins, United States coins, that are scattered everywhere. Urgent, immediate response requested. This letter has never been sent back, even though it was very immediate. I'm just looking at this room. You can see that it's completely falling apart. And here's also a teddy bear of one of the children that lived in this place, left behind forever. What do we have on the wall over here? I've made many friends with whom I've shared my time, but very few with whom I've shared my heart. That's a fascinating quote. You have to hang these things around your house and read them from time to time and appreciate what you have in life. And yes, everybody, here is another television, as you can see. I told you that we were going to see a lot of televisions throughout this place. And we have another one. An Orion. One that I've never again seen before, the brand. Probably something American. Oh, look at the stereo that we have in here as well. Wow, what a beautiful piece. You can tune it, you can treble, bass, selector, loudness. And here are some records also left behind. Below in the cabinet. V-Day. I will let nothing separate me. The Raspberry Singers of Cleveland. Wonderful. And that, everybody, is gonna lead us into the next room. But to my very personal opinion, one of the most interesting rooms of this entire house. And I might hear you ask, why is that, Leslie? But I told you in the beginning of the video, the intro, that these people were all about sports. We have not seen much about sports yet, just some pictures, but this room is going to change that. So let's hop inside and let's see what's left behind in here. Ooh, welcome to the sports room. I think at one point there would have been a bed inside of this room, but nowadays there's none anymore. But have a look at what we can see inside of this room. First thing you can see over here is a picture of the boy that slept in this room. It was most likely him. He's probably also still alive. And I don't know why he doesn't care about this place anymore, because it holds so many memories, even of his past, that he didn't take out of here. And his mother most likely passed away, but he can still come in here and take his memories and place it in his new home. And I don't understand why people do this. I would love to have this. If I want something like this in my lifetime, I would love to have it in my house and display it for everybody to see. But anyway, these are all football trophies that he won over the years of playing, most likely in high school. And there's even one basketball trophy as well. So maybe he played multiple sports, or maybe this was a trophy from one of his brothers or sisters. Let me see what's on here. Okay, we have one over here. It's Wisconsin County Midget League Bulldogs football, and they won it in the year 2002. This one in the year 2005. We have another one from 2006 over here. Quite interesting. And this is him as well, as you can see, together with a girl. And here he's clearly enjoying himself. Not gonna go too deep into that. Georgia EMC, lighting the way. Oh, piggy bank, or a donkey bank, as you could call it. Funny. Here you would throw in all the money and what? Could you get it out through the ass, as you could say? It moves in some way. I can see that the ears move, and then you can take out money up there. I don't know, there's still money in there. That's quite fascinating. Wow. Here are some clothes left behind in the cabinet. Wonderful design on there as well. As you can see, lots of clothing inside of here as well. All left behind. Even a mathematics test book is over here as well. And down here we have one of the shirts that he would wear while basketballing, I think. Nichols State, and he was the third player. There's literally money everywhere throughout this house, left behind on the floor. I love this piece as well. This reminds me of like a peacock, and then his feathers that he has spread out. I think it was what it wanted to represent. Yes, exactly. Maybe it was to put in front of the fireplace when you didn't use it in the summertime, but I'm not 100% sure. Another closet filled with clothing, and these look like women's clothing actually. So maybe Sandra, when the boy moved out, used this room to store all her clothing, store some personal stuff. We even got the football helmet still left here, with the ball still attached inside of there, as you can see, completely covered with spider webs over the years. Very interesting. Yourself. The knitting supply box is also still left here. And then down here we got more artifacts from the former times. This is a Chicago Bulls snapback. Wow, that's probably worth a lot of money. Oh, this one is $24.99 actually, so it's not really that expensive, but a very cool hat actually. A Nike shoe, probably from the child or the boy that lived in this place. Here you can see that laser focus that they got on the ball, and they're just focused on the game all the time. Wow. Even the baseball bats are still left here. We actually don't play this game over in Europe, and I would love to play it one time with some youngsters over here in the United States and maybe experience that as well. Wow. More books, the book of knowledge, and then all the books of knowledge he has here over in the library. American poetry, also very lovely to read. And then we have this corner of the room, and I'm sure that before that time period, before the boy moved out, he definitely had a bed inside of this room, and he slept in here, because there's only one other bedroom in this place, and that seems very, very unreasonable to me. Okay, but first let's have a look at this wall over here. He had his big speakers up there, probably annoyed his mom from time to time with some loud music that he played through here. But what piques my interest as well is this book over here. Free money to change your life. Everybody's free money doesn't exist, and I think I've seen a few books like this around this household, and also books for employment, and I think these people were, even though they had a very big house, in a bad financial position. So yeah, unfortunately, we have to see this. What do we have in here? Multiple clothings, a lot of clothing left behind. Oh, a lovely toy that you could give to the child. Oh, bamboo basket is not a toy. Choking hazard. Small parts, not for children under 3 years. I loved how they put everything like that on like packaging and stuff like that. We don't do that in Europe. It's very interesting. A painting behind here of a lush landscape with a mill over there. There's also a lady depicted here to the side. Okay. Even more money, everybody, left behind. And we got this cabinet that's also completely filled to the brim with a lot of artifacts. And even more money left in here. But I'm gonna leave it all behind because I'm not a thief and I love my hobby of exploring and I want to keep it that way. Ooh, here's a letter directed to Sandra, Prussia again. Got a lot of letters inside of here. A lot of things as well. Rick Lawson, CD. Interesting, and even some fish feet. Okay. Let's close this beauty up and then let's head further into the next room. Because everybody, that is actually the only bedroom inside of this entire place. It just boggles my mind. Why are there not many more bedrooms than this one? And most likely this one back in time. There lived definitely more people than 2 people inside of this place. Okay, we got a still made bed. Yeah, only the mattress and the pillows are still there. This is probably a child's bedroom that we've just entered into. And here you can see how this house was built. Plywood on the outside and just these wooden planks on the inside. Completely deteriorating, completely falling apart. There's another hole in the wall over here. This seems so flimsy how it's built. I don't understand why they would do it that way. But anyway, got a desk for the child that slept in this room to study at. Even a picture left behind of them having some drinks. Okay. And here's a very faded one. Over the years that has been hanging here, through the weather, it probably got faded away. They're having some coronas, as you can see. Let me just see if I can show it to you better in this way. Yeah. Interesting. Another television, yes, another one inside of this room. I think we already saw like 8 televisions inside of this place. I'm probably gonna see more. And we're gonna see 2 more, I believe. All the phones are also still left here. Samsung, Verizon. Wow. Crazy to see. The Future, the 4th edition. We also got some pimps up here. Some shoes, lady shoes, very flashy actually. Wow, look at those. They are very bright. Clothing inside of here as well, from the person that once lived in this room. Oh, and here's the box where the Nike shoes used to be inside. Okay. And then from this room we end up in another one. And this is sort of a storage room, as you could say. Not much to see inside of this one. But we do have a very big basket with all the dirty clothes that probably still needed to be washed. And I never got to it. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord, my soul to keep, see me safely through the night and wake me with the morning light. Amen. That's just wonderful. An Air Jordan shoe. These people had very big feet because they probably played basketball. Yeah, they played basketball and football. And this size is 45 European and 11 United States. That's a very big shoe. These are also collector's items and people give a lot of money for shoes like this. Here we have a basketball trophy that's almost falling apart. Can't open this one anymore. The plushy toys of the children are also left here. Wow, and yet another television. Like I told you before, I think they had so many televisions to watch all the different games on and to follow their children while they played all these sports. And all the other different games as well. An ironing board also left behind. We got some papers that are left in here. Okay. Explain how you would like to take a pile of clothes from the floor and organize them in the closet. I would fold up my clothes in one drawer and I would put my shorts. Oh, this is probably something that I had to do for school, and they had to write out how they would do different things. And this one is from the 8th of 2012. Okay. Interesting. Most likely from the children. The wall is also falling apart. And here they put up some artworks from the children. Okay, then we enter in the last part of the house. There are a few more rooms to cover over here. But the first thing I want to say is that the water in this place is still working, and there is a leakage over here in the corner of the room. And it probably has been spouting away over the years, and nobody bothers to shut it off. And even, I just tested it, the faucet over here. Oh, when I tested it before, it was still working, but now it doesn't function anymore. See that there runs a little bit of water out of there. I'm gonna close it up because I don't want anything to run over here. And we have just ended up in the kitchen of the place. And even the last dishes of these people are still left in the sink over here over the years. Everything is left behind, totally falling apart. The oven over here as well. You can see that most likely a fire happened inside of this house at some point that burned up the ceiling. What do we have in the cabinet? Not much left in here. Also a very fascinating kitchen. And then we have two last rooms inside of this place. The first one is the bathroom over here, where the water leakage actually started. It's probably from the bathtub. The faucet from the bathtub is broken. See it over here, everything, even the washing towels, the washing hands, the back scrubber, even the toilet roll is left behind. Wow. In here was their medical cabinet where they stored all that stuff. And then we have one last room in this place, and that's this one, with an enormous television, the biggest one that we have seen so far. This is also sort of a sitting area where the family of the place came together and watched some TV, watched some sports, with the same fan that we have in the first room as well. Very interesting. Got some more shoes lying over here. And some more pictures of children. Oh, this is actually a white child. Because these people were African American, and here we have a white child. So that might, conclude our story for the foster childs that they probably adopted over the years. Another young boy hanging here on the wall, and another drawing of another child. Here we can get a glimpse from the outside of this place. They actually had a very large garden connected to this household. As you can see, the children had a lot of space to play in and be happy in, because we are in the countryside of Georgia at the moment. But you can see the house is slowly falling apart and deteriorating away until nothing is left of it. I can see Moreno is already at the front of the house. He's taking some pictures of this wonderful place. And I think I'm gonna end the video very soon, because we have showed you this lovely place. And I'm very happy with the outcome of the video. Look at this. Would it be like sort of a mansion? Would you call it a mansion or a house?
No, it's just a normal house.
I love the pillars that they had in there, and every American house seems to have like a porch where you could sit outside of the house and in front of the house. Let me sit down for a moment and let me thank you in front of here for watching this week's video. Another incredible episode from the United States, a self-found American time capsule. And yeah, I'm just very happy today. The sun is setting, we're ready to get some dinner after this, and I want to thank you all for watching this week's video and this incredible place. Please like the video if you liked it, subscribe down there if you're new to the channel, and also there's a link in the description for Patreon. There you can support the channel and help us out by going around the world with a small donation. With that all said, I want to thank you very, very much, and I will see you next week in another crazy episode. Bye bye, I love you.